Okay, I'll get started in 10, 15 seconds or so. Just waiting for everyone to get on. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get started now. Lots of pairs to go over. Lots of potential opportunities. We do see the dollar had moved, which is what I am patiently waiting for the last weeks or month. So looking pretty good for a lot of setup happening. So let's dig in. Let's take a look at kind of what is on my kind of daily watch list for the upcoming 24 48 hours and what is looking or shaping up to be very good trades. So let's go. Let's go now. Let's start with dollar index. So dollar index. By the way, I'm using this new pen to as a brush. So bear with me if I'm a little bit slow at it. But that is what I have to do with for now. So let's start with dollar index because I mentioned about all the dollars that are having potential bullish opportunity, and we really do see that in this upcoming day. So we finally have this kind of a descending channel, and then we see price pop out now, which is good. Are we going to get continuation, continue to push the price up? That is what I'm focused on to see. I would like to see obviously price to actually break above this overall channel here. I think this will be ideal to get a trade up here. And then if we see any continuation setup, I think this is a very good buy opportunity to get to push the dollar up furthermore. So that is what I see on dollar index. So let's look at a couple kind of a dollar pair that is also on my watch list. So let's look at Aussie dollar first. So Aussie dollar, as you guys know, I've been kind of in the bearish kind of bias for a long time. We finally get this reason double top. We do have this kind of a decent ascending kind of channel in the 1 hour chart, and then we see price drop down now, which is good. We go down to the 1 hour chart. In my opinion, looking for a kind of any kind of a confirmation correction would be ideal. We know that what I would like to see is if we can break up down below this overall structure, and then if we can get some sort of continuation here, this would be the more ideal setup. I went over this on my previous daily outlook as well. So definitely looking for a lot of dollar pair to resume its strength in the upcoming days and week. So let's look at euro dollar. Euro dollar is the one that I posted yesterday. Was looking for the sell after this completion of the structure. So we know that overall this structure is potential complete. We have this let me just zoom in a little bit. We have this overall uh, ascending channel once again. We see that ascending channel pushing the price up. Oops, sorry. So we have this ascending channel pushing the price up, and then we're heading on the top of the structure, and then we have this massive drop to the downside, which is good because usually from this kind of point of view now, I'll just be looking for any kind of continuation up here. I think this is very valid for a sell opportunity. This is just in the middle of this larger structure, so I do think this room is very good room to the downside and possibly breaking out of this structure and continue lower. So that is what I see on euro dollar. Definitely looking very clean for the upcoming days. And let's look at pound dollar because the pound dollar is a trade that I'm currently in. Pound dollar is a trade that I'm currently in. So let me just go on to this is a trade I mentioned. If we look at the overall structure, where it's very similar like euro dollar, right? We have this kind of a larger kind of structure in place. We see the price gets pushed up once more. We do see this kind of a reversal kind of structure on the top, and then also ascending channel formation. So over here, I mentioned let's look for a kind of an intraday breakout, and we get that. We got this intraday breakout. We have this intraday breakout, and I said mention look for any kind of lower time sorry lower time frame continuation correction, and this is what I have here, and this is my entry here for the sell. Price dropped massively down now. So how to approach this? Well, guess what's happening now? So we're likely to form another correction here, and look for more sell. This is how I anticipate the market will react in the upcoming days. So be a little bit patient. Don't just jump in the trade now because it can likely to pull a deeper kind of a correction, but still downside nevertheless. And it's just tagging out potential sell if you're looking into that. So wait for a little bit confirmation, wait for a little bit bigger kind of a correction, and this will be kind of an ideal setup to get in and look for to see what the market will we get this breakout from the structure, because on a higher time frame, if we go to the 4-hour chart, still looking very clean for the sell out of this correction. We're just at the top right now. Okay, if we get this breakout and then we get more of a correction down here, then I don't see why this move is not going to happen. So really lean to see what will happen in the upcoming days or week. Definitely see all the dollar pairs looking very clean. Been waiting for them for really weeks to months now, so they're playing out really nicely. So I don't want to miss any of these trade upcoming. Okay, so let's go to dollar Swiss. I think dollar Swiss also, some people have been asking me about dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, how I see is again same thing with the dollar index. It looks really clean. We have this kind of a, you can say a double or triple bottom that we broke, and then we have this kind of descending kind of channel, reversal structure. We have push to the upside massively. So how to approach this? Same idea. We have this push to the upside, so naturally I will be looking for any kind of confirmation correction. So something like this would be ideal for the buy entry. And if you want to be a little bit safer, you can wait for the price to push above this high. So if you can get price to push above this high here, and then look for any correction to take the trade up. And once we broke out of this structure here, any type of buy setup would be very ideal for upcoming as well. Okay, so let's move on to a little couple ones that I'm looking at. Aussie CAD is looking very good. Aussie CAD is looking good. We have this kind of we have this push down from all the way from this. I mentioned there was a trade down here that I was in, and then we have this massive push to the downside, and naturally I'm looking for kind of continuation correction. So we get this kind of ascending channel formation kind of structure. We have price broke down. If we really zoom to the 15 potential sell opportunity here, this could be classified as some sort of correction. I personally didn't get in, but I'm looking for a more kind of a tangible correction here. That would be my trade to enter the trade further down. So that's Aussie CAD. So let's go to a couple other ones. Aussie Kiwi is looking pretty good. So Aussie Kiwi, I made a post earlier about wait for a confirmation breakout. We never got the breakout until price continued to move up. We do see price continue to move up. There was a potential structure here that I missed. This is nevertheless still a reversal structure on the top of this overall channel structure. So looking very clean. We have this drop down, and then on the 15-minute, we have a potential sell opportunity here. Not really interested in this kind of a small correction. I'm more interested in a larger correction that it may develop into. So if we go to the 15-minute, I like how this is a really clear impulse, and if we can get some sort of a deeper correction here, that would be more my ideal trade. Okay, you see this is going to be a more deeper, more concrete, larger correction than something like this. Doesn't mean that this is not valid. It's that I'm waiting for a breakout out of this overall larger structure, and then any type of correction here would be very ideal for the sell. All right, so that's Aussie Kiwi. So let's look at a few yen pairs, because people have been messaging me about a few yen pairs as well. So let's look at it from 1 hour perspective. So we're still in this overall kind of ascending channel formation, okay? And then we're just waiting for a potential drop. We're waiting for a potential drop out of this correction. Just then haven't have that sell kind of momentum yet, but wait for kind of a bearish kind of confirmation. This is what I would be looking for. Any kind of these breakout means absolutely nothing to me. Those of you who've been following me knows that once I see some sort of breakout, I'm looking for confirmation on the lower time frame. Let's look at CAD Yen, because CAD Yen was a post I made. This was a potential sell correction. I think some people got in that. It's moving a little bit slow, but nevertheless, this still can be a correction that it's forming. and continue to go down. So CAD yen is still looking good. Let's go into a couple other yens. I think Swiss yen is looking really nice. I personally miss that. I think this overall structure is very clean. Um, this overall structure is very clean. We see this kind of flag kind of formation. We get the push price down. We have this another correction right where the bottom of this channel is, and then we see this massive drop to the downside. So how to approach this? Same thing. If it's forming a correction here, uh, this will be kind of an ideal entry because we had this impulse out of this overall structure and likely to form a continuation, and this continuation here is very likely to bring the price down all the way down to here. So this is a pretty good trade as well. If we get the actual correction to form. Let's look at Euro Yen. So Euro Yen also, I made a post about this potential sell opportunity. Looking pretty good. It's just a little bit slow. We had this push down very impulsively from this kind of ascending kind of a channel, and we're looking for a larger structure now. So I won't be interested now until I see a firm breakout again and then confirmation correction. Because if we zoom out on the higher time frame perspective, we're just at the very top before. Okay, so we have lots of room to the downside. So I'm not worried about missing, 10, 30 pips or something like that. I'm more trying to capture these 100 plus pips move if we get this push down. Okay, so that is Euro Yen. Let's look at Euro CAD. I think Euro CAD is beautiful. I've been talking about Euro CAD in my weekly outlook as well. I think I mentioned Euro CAD was probably one of my favorite. Definitely Euro CAD is looking very clean for a potential down as well. Uh, we see that overall we got the push down, we have the correction, we have another impulse down, and I mentioned let's look for another correction here. Of course, I wouldn't know how big or how large or how deep the correction will be, but we know that the larger and the deeper the structure it becomes, better the sell will be. Okay, so let's go to the 1 hour. So we see this push down to the downside, and someone before messaged me, is this a potential added kind of a scaling opportunity? Yes or no? Because the price already pushed down so much already, any kind of sell kind of flag or entry on these lower time frame need to be careful because you can likely drop down like this and see what happens, just quickly bounce up and either tag you off for break even or tag you off for a full loss. Waiting for a larger, deeper correction is usually the way to go after such a move already, right? This move is at least, right, it's about 250 pips or so. So it's a pretty large move. Such a large move usually does require a larger kind of continuation correction to push the price down even more. So we finally see the breakout. Okay, we finally see this breakout. This was a very valid kind of correction to enter. Get the push down, and then now what? Okay, now just waiting for another correction. Waiting for another correction just outside of this overall ascending channel structure to confirm that the down move is still likely to happen, and we can expect price to make a correction here and then continue drop down at least to the lows here. So still a lot of move to the downside. And then, like I keep saying, if it breaks below it, then look for another correction to push down the price. That would be ideal to hold the trade for a more long-term perspective. Let's go to Kiwi CAD. Kiwi CAD. Gold, I'll go over after all the currencies. So let's look at Kiwi CAD because Kiwi CAD is right back to my agenda now. So I liked it personally how we had this push down, and then we had this kind of a reversal kind of structure, but instead price push up, and then we have this massive drop. Okay, obviously I personally didn't catch that, but I've been looking at this move because I know this is the overall larger structure for the move down. We did have the move down, and then we had this potential kind of a continuation. Price instead, if I go to a lower time frame, instead we see this kind of potential sell. This was a potential sell I was looking at, never got triggered in. We have this pretty much a push to the upside, kind of a fake breakout, and then right back into the pattern. And this was the ideal sell setup. Sell down here, and then looking for at least breaking the lows here. And if we zoom out on the 4-hour chart, again, we're still in the middle of everything. We still have lots of room to the downside. We're still looking for at least to the lows of here. So this move is likely to happen. We see this strong push to the downside. We have this overall kind of a correctional structure and looking for the next move down. So Kiwi Cat looking very good, very clean as well, liking my taste. So that is all the kind of the currency I'm looking at for this upcoming 24, 48 hours. Let's look at some commodities. So I'll look at some commodities now. So commodities, let's look at natural gas. I got a request for natural gas. So let's take a look at natural gas really quick. I'm going to look at this from a higher time frame perspective because I do think a higher time frame one is looking pretty interesting. So let's start. Overall, we're seeing this kind of structure, right? We're still prices in this structure. We're seeing that it is really respected and bouncing up and down like this. Okay, so every time when we reach the bottom, guess what price would do? It's usually going to be a move to the upside. Okay, so I do think this move to the upside is very likely, very probable. Obviously, it takes time. It doesn't gonna go in a straight line. So looking so good from a higher time frame perspective. Let's go down a little bit into the daily charts. So daily chart, again, we're looking kind of the similar pattern again. We're seeing this kind of descending kind of a formation. What I like about also is that we had this kind of a double bottom. We have this double bottom on the daily, okay, and then we're at the bottom of this higher time frame kind of channel structure. So everything is looking very good from a higher time frame perspective. So let's go to the lower time frame. So lower time frame, we do see this breakout. I do like this kind of a breakout. We have this kind of flag structure. We push up to the upside. We have this another correction now, pushing the price up. The price already has been moving pretty impulsively, in my opinion. So I'm not looking to jump in the trade. I would naturally want to look for, excuse me, naturally looking for more kind of a concrete kind of a potential kind of structure, and then to take the trade up. That is how I would play natural gas, just because from experience, this move already happened, and I don't want to jump in the trade when it's already moving so massively. I'd rather wait for a deeper correction, uh, potentially looking to the buy from the bottom, sorry, buy from the bottom, and then look for more upside. That is how I would approach natural gas. Let's look at sugar. I've been talking about sugar for many weeks now because it's still moving. It's still moving to the upside that I mentioned. So those of the people who are in, we know that this is the impulse, this is the correction. We're seeing this next impulse. I mentioned this was the valid buy. So now it's just looking for another buy opportunity, and we're just going to continue upwards. Still looking this as the target. Still looking that top before the COVID drop as the potential target for sugar. Let's look at gold. I think I got overwhelming gold. Pound dollar I went over, but I can go over again after I finish gold. So gold, I got many people asking me about gold. So let's talk about it. Um, I don't want to spend too much detail because those of you who's been following me know that I've been talking about gold ever since here. I mentioned if it pops out, don't just look for a buy. I'm looking for the sell actually. So we have this bearish push to the downside, small correction, and we have this massive push to the downside. Okay, and what I like the most is that I know once this massive push to the downside, I'm looking for some sort of continuation. So this is the continuation that I've been talking about for weeks. Okay, it's because this sharp move is so sharp, it's not going to just have a small kind of flag before it drops. It's likely to do what it's doing now, a more concrete, more larger, deeper correction. And then we do have a correction within correction to push the price up. We have a reversal kind of ascending channel formation, and we have this next drop. So what are I looking for now? Well, let's look for that continuation correction. If it forms some sort of continuation correction here, this will be a valid sell for me to enter as well. And we'll see what happens when they reach this low. And if it breaks that low, then we're just looking for more downside potential. And I mentioned this in a couple weeks ago, right? I'm mentioning this could be a potential head and shoulder. Pretty much plays out exactly what I was talking about. So again, patient guys. When the price was over here, I mentioned don't just jump into the buy because you're likely to get stop out. And even if it breaks out, don't jump in either. Look for a continuation correction to buy. If it doesn't happen, then it's likely to do what I just mentioned here. Reversal on top, massive drop to the downside, larger correctional structure, and we're looking for the next down move. That is how I see on gold, okay? So pound dollar, yeah, I can go over pound dollar really quickly. I went over pound dollar just now, so I'll go over it really quickly again. So pound dollar higher time frame. I explained this a couple times already. So double top right here. We have this price push out of this structure, reaching the double top, and we're approaching there very correctively. Okay, so that's the higher time frame. If we go down to the lower time frame, uh, we know that once the price hits the pretty much the top here and it's forming this kind of a correctional structure, is likely to reverse. But don't jump in the trade because you see how price it's not just going to go down once it reach like this. It's likely to do what it's exactly doing is forming a continuation. I mean a correctional structure. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of people buying and selling here, and that is why the price moves like this. Okay, everyone. This is the reason why when price is reaching at this level, the market will be indecisive for a couple of days, couple of weeks, because it's just trying to execute all the positions in here. And once all the position is executed, and when all the orders are filled, then we're going to see a more clear direction of where the market is going. So pound dollar, I mentioned, yeah, look for a sell on the top now because this is a reversal structure. We're seeing a kind of ascending channel formation. This was a post I made yesterday, and this is a trade I also am in as well. I mentioned look for a chart breakdown and then look for any kind of a lower time frame continuation. So this is what we get. This is that lower time frame continuation that I was talking about. We have to push to the downside. So how to play this now? Like I said earlier, look for a continuation correction. It's very likely to do exactly like this, and we can continue this strong bearish move. So wait for a deeper correction, likely to be kind of consolidating during the the Asian session. So during the London and New York session, I'm likely to see this move happen. All right, so that is how I see pound dollar. So let's move on to, so I already mentioned all the commodities now. So let's go to equities. Okay, let's look at some equities. Before equity, I'll look at a few indices because I have also requests for indices. So let's look at indices really quick. Let's look at NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, zoom out a little bit. So how I see a NASDAQ, well, I'm still not into any of a buy. I'm looking for more sell, to be honest. We're in this overall ascending channel formation since beginning of obviously after the COVID recovery. Um, Overall, I'm just seeing the price action, just consult more correctively moving up. It's not like a straight impulse followed by a correction and impulse. We're seeing it more correctively. Okay, so what I like about it, we're reaching at these top now, right? These are like the all-time top. Uh, Let me just show you really quick. This was the before the COVID drop. We actually way rebound above the COVID point. Okay, so this is all the all-time top now. So I'm not looking for the buy because when I see structure like these, just looking for a potential kind of a short-term sell opportunities. If we can get break out of this structure here, continuation correction will be valid. But I think a drop out of this larger higher time frame structure and the correction here would be probably the most highest probability sell that I can get. That's the only sell that I would be looking for. I'm not looking for the sell here or anything like that. I'm looking for a confirmed breakout, and that next kind of a correctional structure would be my ideal entry. S&P 500. So I made a post about S&P 500 here. Looking for the sell. I think this is already shaping up to exactly what I was mentioning. This overall structure is very corrective. This is ascending channel formation, and if we zoom out on the higher time frame, we know that we are approaching that daily double top now, which is the point where before the COVID drop. So this could be a potential double top. We had this massive drop to the from the COVID. We had this rebound back, and we're very likely to get another push down again. Okay, so going to the 4-hour chart, looking for confirmation. This is what I keep talking about in most of my videos and analysis. Yes, I know this is ascending kind of channel formation. I know this is breaking out now, but I'm not going to jump in the trade right away. Looking for confirmation to take the trade down. Okay, the most profitable one, in my opinion, would be if it breaks out this structure here and a larger, deeper correction here, then expect this move to be pushing down to the lows here. And that would be my entry, and that would be my preferred setup as well. Let's go to Dow Jones. Same idea. They're going to be very similar. Liking this potential double top. Price is within this overall ascending channel as well. So I'm looking pretty clean. What I don't, probably the only negative confluence I see is that this move pretty much looks like a bullish proof to the upside, and this looks like some sort of a flag pattern. Okay, so that's why I'm a little bit more hesitant on looking at this pair or potentially get into this pair, looking for a better price action, right? If I'm comparing S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones, just because this move looks like a bullish to the upside, and this could be a flag, right? And then we can see the push to upside. That's why I will be on the sideline for this. If I'm going to take anything, I'd rather be looking at S&P 500. Look at VIX. I think VIX is looking pretty good as well. We're seeing this overall kind of triangle structure pushing the price down correctively. And actually, I'm just waiting for this double bottom here. And then we're seeing if we can get the push up, then any correction here would be the ideal buy. So that's VIX. So that is indices. So let me go to the equities that I'm mentioning. So let's go through a few equities. There's a few equities on my watch. So let's go over them really quick. Arola, same idea. I'm still waiting for a little bit more confirmation. Again, last video I mentioned, just because we see a breakout doesn't mean it's start buying. Look for a confirmation correction. So we didn't get that confirmation correction. We had pop to the upside, but there was no kind of a confirmation correction. Instead, price dropped down. Nevertheless, you can still argue that it can form some sort of correctional structure here. It can form a larger structure like this before the buy. So that's also likely as well. But overall, the move, in my opinion, I'm still looking for a massive push to the upside. Okay, we've been dropping very much since the COVID, and we finally see some sort of really reversal price action structures. We're seeing this overall structure here. We had this push to the upside, and naturally just looking for a confirmation correction, which is this, and looking for that breakout, looking for a small time confirmation, and to take the price up. That is how I see on Aurora. Moving on to Boeing. So Boeing, same idea. Structures repeat over and over again. I mentioned that in the last video as well. Push up, correctional structure. We had another bullish push up. We have a larger continuation structure. We finally get that push up that I was looking for. Let me go to the 1 hour chart to show you. We had this push to the upside, and this was my entry personally to get in. And we pushed up. Now we're just forming a larger correction. And I'll be really keen to see what happened in the New York session coming up. Can we get this breakout and then come to correction to push up more? And because I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective, most of how I focus on equities and commodities are looking for more long-term, not looking for more short-term. So long-term wise, I'm looking for this move up to the top of here. That's how I see Boeing. And if we can break this high here, if we can break this high here and price continue upwards, then look for more continuation to hit the top before the COVID drop. So that's Boeing. So let's move on to let's look at MasterCard. I think one person asked me about MasterCard. So was looking for the buy since when was in this overall correction. We had this push up, and then we had this correctional structure, which is very likely to push the price up once more. We get that. Now we're getting this kind of a triangle pattern. So either way, still looking for upside, still looking for pretty much the daily top or the all-time top as the target. So let me just show you that on the higher time frame. We're pretty much at this all-time top now. So look, if you're looking for a buy, be careful that the buy might be short-lived. We're at close to this top now. So if you're looking for the top, if you're looking for the buy, then if it breaks out, make sure you move your stop to break even or some profit, and see what price would do in this area. Is it going to continue like that, or is it going to form here and then some sort of reversal structure to bring the price down? Okay, so that's MasterCard. Let's go to Nike. So let's go to Nike. Nike again was looking very, very clean. I was able to get in on one of those trades. So this was my initial trade. I mentioned that this was the breakout, and then look for continuation correction. That's the correction to push the price up, and looking for a larger correction. This was my kind of a next posting that I mentioned. Hit all-time top now. So what happens now? Well, look for a continuation. Is it going to keep going up? If it's going to keep going up, then it's likely to form some sort of continuation correction to push the price up. If it's not, then it's likely to form some sort of reversal structure to bring the price down. Overall, I'm seeing this obviously as a bullish continuation, a push up now. So naturally looking for a confirmation buy right here because we already broke the all-time high. We had the correction to break the all-time high. So my bias now would be really looking for more buy opportunities. So that's Nike. Let's look at Pepsi really quick. Made a post on Pepsi as well. We zoom out a bit. So overall, structurally, we're looking pretty good. We had this breakout from the structure. We had this kind of bullish kind of flag pattern. Was looking for a buy out of this correction, but we didn't have that happen. So I'll be patiently waiting for more development from the market. Very likely could be forming a bigger kind of correction on here, and then we're still getting the push up. But we're just looking at it from a bigger perspective now, something like this. Okay, and if we can get the ones pushed down to here, and then this buy would be very optimistic to push the price all the way up. And because we're already approaching the all-time top, so if I zoom out a little bit, this all-time top right here would be really the next target for the trade here. So looking pretty clean. I still like this overall structure. I still think this was the clear impulse. This was the clear impulse, and then we had using a larger continuation correction, and we broke out looking for a continuation correction on the lower time frame to push the price up. Okay, so that's Pepsi. One more to go over Tesla. Tesla, I got a lot of questions. I made a post on Tesla as well, so I think I got a lot of questions on that. So this was a potential buy. I mentioned once I see this massive push downside and this larger continuation structure, and then we see this descending kind of a channel, and then price broke up to the upside, and as I mentioned, any kind of lower time frame continuation correction is a valid buy. We got that buy, and now price is here, and people asking me what to do now. Well, wait for another confirmation. This is already forming like a confirmation correction, so wait for this to fully develop and wait for the next buy. That is how I would approach Tesla. Okay, so that is kind of all the equities I'm looking at for the upcoming days. Let's go over crypto last. Crypto is obviously something another beast. So let's look at crypto really quick. Let's go over a few. I think Algo is looking really nice. Made a post on Algo a couple of days ago. So this was my Algo post. Looking for a breakout because I know that this is a continuation structure. We had to push to the upside, and we had this smaller continuation correction, push the price up. Now it's just in kind of a descending kind of a channel reversal structure. So not looking to enter while the price is in here, just looking for a confirmation breakout and any structure to take the buy here. And that would be a really good buy. If we zoom out on the daily, if we zoom out on the daily, looking very good because we still have lots of room to the upside. We're just looking at the next daily double top as a potential target. So lots of room to go there. So I don't want to miss that. Let's go to Bitcoin Cash. We're just seeing the overall larger structure in the making, but nevertheless, structurally, price action wise, still looking very bullish to me. So still looking very bullish to me. How will I approach this? Again, don't jump in the trade while it's in here. Look for this structure to complete. It's just becoming a larger, deeper structure now. But if we get this price to push down to the lows here, that would be my valid next buy to the top. We're already kind of forecasting this move to the upside already. It's just taking a larger, deeper correction for the next move up. So that is how I would approach Bitcoin Cash. Let's go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, kind of same idea. Was already looking for the buy from the bottom. Now structurally is just consolidating a little bit longer. This one's a little bit be careful because we are approaching, or I should say, we are already at this potential daily double top now. Okay, and then price is approaching it quite correctly, I have to say. So don't want to, sorry, I don't want to jump in the trade right away because it very likely could have a reversal structure like this, and then we see the price drop down like this. Okay, so I'll be looking to take profit on some of the Bitcoin trade because the way how I see it is that we're approaching this area now, and we're not, breaking this area impulsively. We're actually approaching it very correctively. So if we go down to the 4-hour chart, if we get this price to go like this, more like this, the more it goes like this, the more I think this is a more reversal structure and that we may see a bearish drop from the structure. So be careful on Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, been talking about this for weeks as well. Again, I made a video about finding the really the higher probability impulse and price action structures. This was one of them, so make sure you check out that video if you have any questions. Um, Anyways, we have this massive push to the upside now, and then price is kind of retracing, or so to speak. So how to approach this? Well, let's look at the higher time frame. So we know we already made this massive push to the upside already. Okay, this is pretty strong. From 240 all the way to 440, that's $200. So that's a really massive move in such a short period of time. In my opinion, expect something. Oh, sorry, expect something a larger correction to form here. Okay, if we're going to see more continuation. So not looking to buy now, looking for a more solid confirmation correction, more on a daily level. So it's going to be a larger, deeper correction and before the buy. Otherwise, be careful if you're in this trade, move your stop and stuff because we very likely, just like Bitcoin I mentioned, we can very likely to see some sort of reversal drop. And it's not going to be bearish, it's just going to be correcting itself to be a bigger correction before the next buy move. Okay, but if you're in the trade, you don't want to lose your profit, then move your stop to accordingly. Let's go to link. Let's go to link, go to the 4-hour chart. Again, a couple entries here that I mentioned. This was the valid buy. We get the price push up. We have this potential buy again that personally I wasn't in. If I'm already in this trade here, I won't be in something like this. So we know crypto. We know how volatile it can be. This move that we're seeing here, this is a pretty sharp drop, right? So I've been keen to see what will happen here. Is it going to continue consolidate like this a little bit longer? If it is, that's going to change my bias because I see this as the impulse, and then that's the correction that's making, and we can see more bearish move. So I've been obviously looking to move my stops or take some profit if I see more bearish kind of development here. So that's Link. Let's go to Litecoin. Uh, we're still seeing this push. I still see this as a bullish push, and we're still seeing this as a continuation correction. I did see this push up, and then we see this retrace. Be keen to see what will happen in this area. Are we going to continue up right away like this, and then this is just some sort of descending channel on the lower time frame, and we can continue buy like this, or is it going to form what I just mentioned in Link, forming some sort of like this, and we drop down like that? Then accordingly, then obviously uh, take your profit if there is profit, or take a break-even trade, and we'll reevaluate as we go. Last one I want to go over. Let's go over Ripple. And Ripple is looking pretty good as well. Just becoming a larger structure. In the beginning, I was thinking more as this could be the structure all it is to push upside. Now I'm seeing this as a bigger structure in the making now. Still seeing this move as the huge bullish impulse. It's just making a larger structure before it goes. So if it comes down to the bottom here, if we see some sort of reversal structure bringing it down on the lower time frame, I do think this will be a valid buy still to break it above the structure here. And as we know, if we go to the higher time frame, we're just right at this beginning. So there's still so much room to the upside. There's just so much potential on the trade as well. So I won't be just give up on this if I see this trade retrace down here. I'll be a little bit more patient and see what it will do. The larger, deeper correction it gets here, the better it is for this move to happen, at least to the next top here. And then this is probably the top I'm looking at, still lots of room to push the price up. So don't want to miss that. Okay, so that is Ripple. I think that summarizes all the crypto, at least that is on my watch list or that I am keeping an eye on. Okay, if there's any questions I can help to answer, or if there's any pairs to look at. Thank you. Relaxed, consistent, and very informative. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Just trying to host these to provide as much value and knowledge to everyone. That is my goal here, actually. So I'm glad to do so. Um, Anything else? If anyone want me to look at, I'm feel free to take a look. Breakdown on AF. Maybe sorry, I missed this. AF. AF is that a stock? Air France. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can take a look at this. This is first time looking at this, so give me a second. Really don't trade any of these European equities or anything. I focus on US equities, so just first time looking at all this. To be honest, I'm trying to get some drawings in there, but I really can't. I don't see this as anything that I will be looking at on. Okay, I don't even see this as really structured. The most I can see this as this is the impulse, and are we getting a correction here? Like, are we getting a larger correction here? Are we getting this pushed up to the upside and then the drop? That is how I see it. But even for now, I'm just not bullish or bearish at this. At least I do see this is a little bit ugly price action in this recent kind of time frame. Not seeing any potential out of this as of now. Like I said, if I do see this push to the upside, pretty much hitting this top, potentially completing this structure. I do think a sell from the top is ideal, but until then, I will be on the sideline for this as of now. Okay, so that's how I see on AF. Yeah, that's it, guys. That is it from my daily outlook and market update for the next 24 to 48 hours. And as always, feel free to ask me questions or comment. And for those of you who watch this later, feel free to post, or sorry, feel free to ask me any pairs that you're looking at. I can come back and take a look and I'll post a screenshot. All right. So thank you very much, guys, and hope everyone have a nice day yourself. And I'll chat with you guys next time. Okay. Thank you.